Alright, well I got 2 free weed eaters on the side of the road again. One's a feather light, curve shaft, kind of a cheaper end one. And we have this nice little Ryobi straight shaft. Pretty sure I know why this one was thrown out. Just judging how the pull string is tied up on the handle makes me think that that's what failed. There's some wiring here that doesn't look factory. This primer bulb works, but that one is shot. So I'll probably have to take this one apart and go get a replacement before I can even try to make this one work. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm going to try to see if I can swap over the primer bulbs and just make one of the two function and swap them out, just so I don't have to go waste money and end up with a broken product and wasted money on it. So let me get you set in the stand and I'll tear down that Ryobi's primer bulb and show you how to swap it out on this feather light. So I got the new one. Well, this is new used for the one from the Ryobi. Comparing it up to it, they're identical, so we should be able to just swap it out and then prime it, and then hopefully that starts this one up, and then I can go buy a replacement one. And then just this weed eater is ready to go. This is a kind of a will it run, but more of like, we know that these were the issues and, well, easy to fix them. But they were free, so I really can't complain. I'll take a free weed eater any day of the week. I like mowers, free mowers too, those are nice. But usually those aren't really free. So, doing this blinded because you guys are in the way, can't see. Well, let's see, does it prime? It does. I bet you this fuel's not the cleanest, but let's at least see if it starts and runs. Half choke. Oop. Well, hey, that was easy. So I can go buy me a new one of these. And then I can just go ahead and replace it, and I have a solid weed eater. Let's see if we can get it going again. See if there's a... Not bad. Not bad at all. Well, I guess you guys are getting 2 weed eaters in one video because that took 2 seconds to fix. So let's take this one out of the stand, take this primer bulb back off of it. I'm going to put it on the new one, or the Ryobi, and we're going to go see if it runs or if we can get that pull string to fix. Because if I can get that fixed, that might become my new household weed eater that I use instead of my Echo. Cause I like that Ryobi better than my Echo I have. So let me get this thing set up. Alright, so let's begin with just taking apart this little area. It looks like there's 4 screws there. 1, 2, 3 others I have to do. I think they're a T30. Nope. T25. So let me actually get you set up in a different angle so that way you can see the screws we're accessing better. Part of the mess in the background, I just got a couple of the projects I've been working on. A buddy of mine destroyed his transmission, so we're trying to piece the car back together and then hopefully scrap it or do something along those lines to make it not less of a total loss. So oh wow. It looks like the whole engine's gonna fall off with just 4 screws. Yep. Ha. That makes life easy. Let me see how you guys are looking. Can you see it? No. Let me get you set up better where you can see the actual motor. I'm going to try to reorientate some things. So, alright. This is way better, you guys can see. Oh, is that just a pry off? Is there an actual bolt underneath there that we can... It would appear so, but I can't access my drawers because of you guys in the way. So, give me a second to get the right bolt for it. Alright. I had to make a little custom tool by grinding off a bevel, or a little 1/4 inch aspect. Alright. Well. Oh, guard dog. Hey, it's okay, dog. Everything can be used as a hammer. That's what I've learned. There we go. Man, that was hard. And then we need to get this off. Is this motor seized up? Oh. Oh no! Seized motor! Well, let's take the spark plug out. Alright. I'm tired of cutting. We're gonna shift you for a second. This way. Oh, come on. Here. Trying to not make it shaky at all. Well, plug looks good. Okay, I guess we'll just tear the rest of this thing apart and figure it out. Maybe I can just take this motor and fuck it with that one. Mainly because I like the straight shaft. Made in 05, so it's should be fairly nice. The fact that these are so loose says someone's been in here before. I'm missing a bolt. And a tab right there. Okay, take this guy. Move him out of the way. Air filter. Yeah, we're gonna have to get these off, sadly. Thankfully it's seized, so I should be able to kind of just go like this. Oh, I just bent that. Fuck. I wonder if they put regular gasoline in this thing and caused it to seize that way. We'll deal with this later. You still in frame? Yes, you are. Sweet. Okay, we got 3 torques here. Woo. Not the right size. Gonna have to move you again. Sorry for the shaky hands. There you go, that's the size. I need extension. 25. T25. A mismatch of sockets, torque specs. But it works. 1, 2, 3. So the piston's just seized in there. Huh. Is there a way for me to just pry this off? I don't know how this is supposed to go together. Hey! Shh! It's okay, guard dog. Cooper! Alright. Well, let me get you reset up in the vise where I can actually try to get leverage on this thing. Because right now I don't have any leverage. There we go. So it just came right off. So that feels good. Pretty sure this is my issue right here. Straight fact that the piston is seized inside the inside the cylinder. But on the positive note, it's reluctantly moving. So let's give it some lubrication and see if this will help it. Sorry guys, kicked you on accident. Alright, I want to get this piston out. I want to see how it looks on the rings. Maybe there's a ring caught or something. So I need to get a punch out. Just because I don't want to damage the piston. I'm going to use the blunt edge I have. Let me adjust you guys just a tiny bit. There we go. That's better. I am supporting the piston or the cylinder on the edge, and I'm just using the blunt end to tap it out. See how it's kind of coming loose? I want to get some oil real quick and push it down the cylinders. Just to protect it even more. Whoop. I'm shooting out now. I hope you guys can see this good. Because I can't see what's on the camera. Cooper, quit it! Such a good guard dog. Oh, and look at that. Rings are not seized. There's heavy damage on this piston though. And it's so tiny. I do think it was ran without two-stroke mix. Oh, for sure, it was ran without two-stroke mix. Here. Pour what gas is in there. So, sorry, I'm not good at displaying. Regular gasoline, two-stroke. Yeah, I hope you can see the bottoms. You can see the colorations, right? Yeah, that's what caused the damage to the piston. I'm wondering if I throw some excessive lube in there, like, well, motor oil that's in my little can. If that is going to be enough lubrication to fix the bore and fix the piston. I might run a little hone through it real quick, though. Because I got a tiny, tiny hone on a drill I can put on. Give me 2 seconds. Let me actually get you repositioned. I'm going to put that in the vise and get the... Alright. Yep, it's recording. Lubrication with some oil. This hone's just a little bit big. Oop. You need to tighten up the spring so that way they do more force on it. Yeah, it sucks that this, what killed this was a owner problem of not using the right oil and gas mixture. But it happens. It's just one of those things. Yeah, so that turned out fairly decent. Let me wipe it out and then I'll get a light shined in there for you. Yeah, you can see. Oh, well. Alright, you're gonna get dismounted from your camera. Give me 1 second, let me get you. Well, hopefully I don't flood you with light, but you can see where there's some damage there. Sorry, I'm not the best at this filming yet. Still getting good. Shows damage still. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more honing, and I'll bring you right back. It's hard to do with you in the stand because you're right in the way. But I think we might be able to salvage this by just patching it together. And I mean, it might be a good weed eater. It might not. The worst thing it is, worst thing I have to. Ooh, shaky hands. Sorry. Worst thing comes to it is I'll just wait for another one, put this out in the scrap pile that I have, and wait for another one to come by that has a bad shaft or bad carburetor or something like that, and I'll keep it for parts. And I can take the primer bowl and use it on the other one like you saw earlier. So this is not a waste of time. It's just kind of cool to see if we can make this run from seized motor, from lack of oiling in the mixture, to running and going good. So we'll see. All right, well, it functions. Let's put it back together and see if we can't make it run. So we'll just start the reassembly process on it. Oh, I have to take this out of the stand. All right, let me get you repositioned. I want you to be able to see this right. Alright, yell at me if I get out of frame. I'm trying to learn how to get it adjusted right. Okay, those 3 screws need to go back, which they were, I believe, these 3. They were the bigger ones. Yes. We still have to deal with that pull start. But at least right now we can get this going and get this piston, or this whole thing, reassembled and almost to a point where it can fire. There is a torque spec, I'm sure. This is purely just me trying to see if I can get it running again. I think I can, but we will see. I mean, that feels pretty good. So I'm kind of excited to see how this turns out. Because I think it might turn out pretty good. Okay, that's assembled. Set that aside. We gotta take this apart. Right? I'm too high. Let me readjust you a little bit. Actually, I'll just zoom out. I'm not gonna work closer to you. See what size this torque is. This one. Oop. Okay. See if I can get this tab put back together. Oh, I just pulled it off. Sweet. So on this one, there's a little needle, little pin that has to get pushed in to that little hole. If you don't get that, then, well, it's just not going to work. See? Little thing sticks out. And then you can just seat that inside there. And then reattach this. So, I was just thinking, back in when I was 14, 15 years old, I was, well, a mischievous little kid. And my dad bought a still straight shaft weed eater. And, well, let's put it this way. He bought it. He bought it. I wanted to use it to weed eat because, you know, I wanted to be the good kid and do things for my dad and help him out. All kinds of things. But I put regular gas in it, not knowing the difference. And he made me tear it all the way apart and learn how it works. Well, he didn't make me, I wanted to. It was my mess up, and I wanted to learn how to not do it again and what was a 2-stroke versus 4-stroke engine. So I took the liberty to kind of just tinker with it and learn. Man, oh man, am I happy I did that, because it taught me a lot about how something functions, how to take something apart, and just really helped me out majorly. So I was happy about it. And I just thank my dad for being kind of strict on me. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in right now. So there's that. Let me pick up the spark plug I dropped. And let's finish reassembling this, I should say. Because I don't really want to deal with, well, broken stuff. I know it gets lubricated, it's going to burn oil like a son of a gun, but I really just want to have excess lubrications here. Just for my feelings and stuff. Partly because I don't want to have to tear this back apart because I forgot something or just needed a little extra lube. So yeah. So now it is these 4 here, which are the same. Can you? I probably should have checked. You guys can't even really see it. How's that? A lot better, I bet. And if you're in the or in the professional world and you do this for customers, you would probably want to replace all the gaskets as well, since technically the base gasket on this was damaged when I removed it. But since this is mine and I get to do what I want and have some fun with it, I can just leave it alone. Alright, the battery ran dead, so got it replaced. Back to it. Dang it. Oh, well. This little tab right here has to get tucked in underneath. There we go. Can you still see it? Yeah, you can still see it. Good. And what do we have left? These 4. So I have 4 fine thread and 4 coarse thread screws left. I think the coarse thread goes to the outside case. The fine thread bolts it up to the actual housing via these guys. There's 2 more on the bottom. And I forgot to put on the gas tank. Gosh dang it. Just my luck, though. Just my luck. Whatever. It's 4 screws, 6 screws. It comes right off. Yeah, and you guys get to see my mistakes, because I'm not perfect. By all means. I just get to kind of have some fun here. So it goes like this, I believe. With those 2. Alright, so I don't want to forget another thing. So there's this guy. Oop, just try to get at your foot. This little rubber guy goes here on the back cover. I think there's another one that fell off. I just don't know where it went. Because on here, there's 1 here, and then there's 2 here. These 2 guys go in like this, and then they seat up against, there it is, these guys right here. So really I can just go and put that there, put that one there, put the tank like that. I need another hand! Alright, balancing act here. Alright. Okay, gas tank held in place. It looks like it. Alright. Did I get that tab? I did get that tab in that time. Alright, we're gonna I'm gonna finish screwing the spark plug all the way in. And tighten it down. Put the boot back on it. Reconnect the carburetor. Yeah. This goes like that. Reconnect the carburetor. Get the little primer bulb reinstalled. That's the same one that we had on the other carb, on the green weed eater. I can't remember the name of it. Get this installed there, and then put it the rest of the way together, and then see if it will crank and fire. I'm actually really hopeful on this, because it's gone back together way better than expected. Still got compression and everything. Sweet. That goes there. Don't want to forget that. And let me get you in a better position. I'm going to kind of get the shaft put back in the vise, and then the back end on near it, so I can then assemble it and get you in that position so you can see it. Alright. So get this in place. Come on. There we go. And then you... There we go. Now this is going to be a little tricky. One-handed. If you guys were here to lend a hand, that'd be amazing, but I can't get you guys to come. Two more. It's amazing that 4 coarse threaded screws hold on this entire engine. It's amazing. Oh. You get the throttle cable reattached. Okay. Full start. There's the choke. Choke functions. These, I'm sure, is just an on-off momentary switch. Right, you can see. Yeah, you can see what I'm touching. I want to make sure they get in there and stay in there. And the only thing left to do is add some 2-stroke gasoline. Not 4-stroke, because this is 2-stroke. So we'll add some. I always run mine heavily oiled, just because I don't like the wear and tear that, well, it puts. And I don't mind replacing a spark plug every season because they're cheap. We got fuel in the bulb. Probably should have checked spark before doing any of this. But I kind of figured once I found that, once I saw what it was, that I knew what the problem was. Alright, so it had a little fire. I'm wondering if the carburetor's just absolute junk. Because yeah, it does not, I'm not able to force fuel in the primer bulb. Yeah, carburetor's absolutely gummed up. So let's take it apart real quick. Get the ultrasonic cleaner heating up and ready. I can't believe it runs after that piston being so seized. Sorry, the camera had a malfunction. 2 10mm. And that should force this plastic thing to come off. And then if I peel. Ah! I guess it builds pressure in there pretty quickly. Build that off. Alright, let me get you set up in a stand with this thing out of the way so that way you can actually see what I'm doing. Alright, so probably what it needs is it just needs to be cleaned up and had some like orifices blown through just because of gummed up gas or something along those lines. So let's just take it apart and soak it if need be. I really think that Ryobi one's going to be a better weed eater than that like home light version of it. Just because the Ryobi's a straight shaft and everything. So let's kind of just try to make sure that that one goes good. Once I get this apart, I'm going to break and go get some drinks and food and possibly help a friend out whose vehicle broke down. So it might be a little bit before I come back, but this carb should be reassembled, and I'll bring you back once it's all put back together, so you don't have to watch me and just watch me redo everything over again. But I wanted to kind of show you the ins and outs of these carbs, because yeah, you have like your jet there. This is your pop-off valve, so when your pressure builds up on your float or on your diaphragm, it will blow it off and then it'll shoot fuel in there. I mean, that's essentially what these are. Or this whole carburetor is just that. So we've also, I mean, this primer bowl setup, it's a little different than some, so trying not to damage my gaskets. But looks like that one's not coming off easily, so we'll just soak that one. Alright, well, I'm going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner and then bring you back once it's all assembled. Alright, so I just ended up swapping over the carb from the green one to this one, and the other one's still sitting in the ultrasonic waiting for it to warm up. So only downside is I forgot to transfer over the choke mechanism. Oh, that's pretty good. That's what I'm talking about. That's a pretty weed eater. Wow. Well, I guess that ends it for us today. Gotta finish the choke mechanism on the swapping it over, but I'm sure I can make that work, or just cleaning that carburetor would make it perfect again. But you saw how easy it started, and it ran pretty good. So I think that's gonna call it. I'm gonna call it quits for today. I'm hoping to get a new camera to make it better and better quality videos for you guys, because I'm actually really enjoying this. So, alright, if you guys want to rate, comment, subscribe, you know, whatever YouTube does. Hopefully we get this channel going. I can keep up these fun videos. Alright,